Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to our channel. This might be a little bit of a surprise for some of you who do have their notifications on for when we go live. We do have a Division 2 Noesis group having a little bit of a social race today. A few drivers here, similar pace, and trying to just get a few laps around Monza today. So 27 laps around the track. We do have the qualifying session. It will be a 50% race, short qualifying. And we have a nice little group over here, 11 drivers on the grid. And let me just make sure that the stream is working, because last Monday I was having a little bit of trouble with it. All right, perfect. So we are live. So for our Division 2, we have Joby, Fuego Mall, Leader Bag, Dragon Pengus, Escargo, Mini Tony, Dob Walters, Relativity, Guardians, Louis, and Soul Rank here having some fun around Monza, so it will be an exciting race. Monza 11 turns, I believe. And if I'm not mistaken, I think some of them were already worried that it is going to be raining for the race. So it is a dry qualifying right now. And I believe our first driver to cross the line will be Escargo, so we'll keep an eye on him. Hopefully he does have some better luck today. On Monday, he did unfortunately lag out of the Monday Noesis division. And as I say that, commentator's curse having a little bit of a, of a spin right there. So up in front of him is going to be Dragon Pengus setting his lamp. Escargo is going to obviously back out of that. And Dragon Pengus getting a bit of an invalidation right there. So we did see on Monday how tricky this track is. So Dob Walters as well. Let's see anybody else who is on. So Guardians in Sector 2. We'll keep an eye on him. So the purpose of our Noesis Division 2 is mainly to give a bit of opportunity for some of our drivers who are learning the Noesis. Give them a bit of room to improve. And yeah, I mean, without the pressures of obviously some faster drivers in Division 1. But it is nice to race against people your own pace as well. So we have Guardians going around the final corner. Has a bit of battery saved up for that straight. And so Guardians is going to be the first car to put in a time. It's going to be 123.2. And I believe we did have Louis from what we've seen, a talented driver, and he is going to put in a 119.9. So really good time by Louis right there. And Mini Tony going to cross the line as well with a 121.1. And funny enough, Mini Tony was actually having a really good race on Monday, but a few mistakes here and there. Hopefully no speeding in the pit lane penalties for him this time. So still a few drivers to put in a time. We do have 3 drivers still in the pits: Fuego Mall, Leader Bag, and Dragon Pengus. Dob Walters about to cross the line soon. Oh, using a little bit of the grass right there. And puts in a 122.7, puts him up in P3 at the moment. I believe we do also have Solrak in Sector 2. So today they were allowed to choose their own cars, and looks like we have 2 McLarens here today. The McLarens have been the favorite for a few drivers I've seen when it comes to choices. And so Solrak is going to cross the line with a 127.2, so that's going to put him in P5 for now. I believe Relativity is going to be crossing the line soon. He does have a little bit of traffic, and I think that is the pass of Joe Beef, who I believe is also putting a time as well. Or no, actually looks like he backed out. But Relativity got a little bit of a slipstream from the Haas, and he is going to cross the line with a 120.9, so about a second away from Louis. And Joe Beef managed to put in a 126.6, puts him in P6. Oh, a bit of a lockup on turn 1 right there. So 3 drivers who have yet to put in a time. We'll keep an eye on Dragon Pengus, who's on his at the moment. Does have a little bit of traffic. Trying to get a little bit of that slipstream from, I believe that is Mini Tony. And actually, I just realized we have 2 Aston Martins as well. So Mini Tony and Relativity teaming up today. And looks like both Fuego Mall and Leaderbag are going to be on their outlap at the moment, so they will be looking to set a time soon. Ho, Dragon Pengus having Joe Beef right in front of him. I don't know if that affected his lap right there. And I think that's Relativity who crashed out in Sector 3, it looks like. But Dragon Pengus crossing the line puts in a 120.7. So 2/10 away from Mini Tony. And that is going to push Relativity down to P4. Escargo having a little bit of a mishap right there, invalidating his lap. And we do have Leaderbag, the first driver to put in his time between him and Fuego Mall. It looks like he is on a banker lap, I believe. We're switching around. Goes a bit off track onto the grass, so he's gonna get out the way for I believe that is Solrak, who invalidated. And we do have the Ferrari of Fuego Mall starting his time right now as well. And oh, it looks like Escargo has left the session. I know he was having a lot of trouble with his game and the system, so let me see if I can invite him back, because it's heartbreaking, because EA is really acting out these last couple of weeks. So on Monday he left the session and then he wasn't able to take control of his car, and I believe it just DNF'd his vehicle. So here's hoping he could take control or come back for the rest of the race. So it's a small group, but the purpose of this broadcast and with commentary is just to make sure, as new drivers, they still behave. A lot of them already have a bit of experience in the Monday No Assist division, but a few new drivers. And from what we saw last week, a really good race that they had in... I'm trying to remember where the race was. Where did they have the race? I'm gonna look. Because I did race with them and it wasn't that hard. Monza's a whole different case though. Turn 1 just kills me. But last week... Oh, that's right, in Austria. We had it in Austria because Mexico had a little bit of an issue. So yeah, we were racing in Austria last week, and Louis doing a really good job, as well as Fuego Mall. Leaderbag, unfortunately, having a little bit of an incident, so hopefully he has better luck this week. So it is nice to see these drivers on track and trying to help build the league's Division 2. But we do have Leaderbag. I believe he is starting his lap now. And looks like Guardians actually lagged out. So let me see if I could get him back into the session. I have too many friends. I don't see Guardians. Guardians, I don't see you online, so I will send you a message. Yeah, so it does help to restart the game, so hopefully he can restart it and he could join back in. So this game, yeah, this game has quite a bit of issues these last couple weeks. And so Leaderback is going to cross the line with a 122.3. And I believe Fuego Mall is trying to improve on his lap. We'll see if he's able to improve. In Sector 2, wrapping it up in a few. And so he is actually up on his time. And actually invalidates. So unfortunately that is no good. And Louis is disqualified for parking in a dangerous location and was probably trying to get out of the way of everybody else. And so that is going to put him from P1 to P11. So a nice last to first challenge for him. All right, so Guardians is online. And so Escargo's having the same issue where he can't get control of his car or get out of the garage. Yeah, this game is quite frustrating. I feel sorry. And so with Louis' disqualification, that is going to push Mini Tony up to P1 at the moment for provisional pole. And he did look like he did briefly set up a purple sector 1. And Guardians is able to join. That is perfect. I am trying to see what I could do for Escargo. And so Tony actually improved by 0.06 of a second. So we'll see how much he could pick up on this final sector. And so it looks like Mini Tony wasn't going to improve, chooses to go back into the pits. And we do have, I believe, Joe Beef putting in a hot lap. So Joe Beef, I believe he said he was learning the no assist. I think he has everything off except the racing line. So that's something that he is trying to really get used to. And it looks like no, he's going to back out. He does have a bit of traffic coming or a few cars coming up behind, so he might have to get out the way. Although Dragon Pengus is actually on a outlap. And a little bit of a confusion between the two McLarens. And so they both are going to be on their lap, I believe, or actually no, it looks like Solrak is going to let Dragon Pengus start his. So Dragon Pengus is only 0.2 away from Mini Tony's time, who is right in front of him and looks like isn't going to be able to to do much, or actually is on an outlap. So does really well to get out the way for Dragon Penguins there. So it looks like Dragon Penguins is actually down on his time. And looks like Fuego Mall. Don't think he's on a lap. No, he is not. So yeah, so unfortunately Escargo is not going to be able to leave the pit for a fault of EA. And looks like Dragon Penguins did improve, but not enough to get past Mini Tony on positions. And so we have a couple drivers on their hot lap at the moment. So Fuegomon and Solrak are two to keep an eye on. And looks like he is going to back out of that. Looks like he may have made a mistake there. So Solrak, oh, he's taking a little bit of grass right there. And ooh, goes a little bit too deep on that corner, and that may have just slowed him down. But we'll take a look at how much, or if he was able to improve. And has used up quite a bit of batteries, up by 100th, but slows down quite a bit on that sector. And so it looks like Mini Tony's going to cross the line, gets provisional pole at the moment. We'll see if Solrak is able to do anything, or Joe Beef. I don't think so. I don't think he has enough battery, or has improved much on his time. So he is going to stay in P7 at the moment. And so is Joe Beef. So that is our grid here with the 11 drivers. Braving it up for Monza. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it is going to be raining, but we'll take a look in a few seconds. But we do have Mini Tony on pole position. He's probably thinking, what in the world? How did that happen? And P2 right next to him in the front row is going to be Dragon Pengus. In third, Relativity, followed by Leaderbag, Escargo, Fuego Mal, Solrak, Guardians, The Walters, Joe Beef, and Louis, who unfortunately got disqualified. Alrighty, so Escargo is going to try joining again. So here's hoping he is able to take control of the car. Alrighty, so they do have the green light to go. As we mentioned before, it is a social link. Sorry, social race. I'm reading Fuego Mal's message for a link of the stream, so I'll send it to him right here. So it is a social race, so we are expecting them to be a little bit more careful. It is a small group, so yeah, we are looking forward to see how this race ends up. But it is 4 lights and 5 lights. They have set off, and hopefully Escargo is able to take control of his car, but it looks like we do have a couple of position changes. So Mini Tony's gonna have a really good start, stays right ahead. They are they are quite careful in that first turn. So really good turn one at there. We do have Escargo. I believe that that is his AI. But up ahead we do have Relativity trying to get past Joe Beef. Louis actually gaining quite a lot of positions. I believe he was, yeah, he's up 5 positions going on the inside of Solrak. Solrak who actually cuts the corner, and Louis might actually go for the overtake, and he does so. But looks like Solrak is going to try battling that out. We do have Don Walters in the back a little bit, taking a bit of the wet grass. Ooh, going onto the gravel. And that is going to be yellow flags just because of he's slowing down right there. Liebag actually doing really well to stay in his position. He does have Louis right on the back of him. And is Louis going to try making a move on the outside? He is. Goes around the outside, gets the overtake done, and so Liebag is just going to stay close behind. And it looks like Dragon Pengus actually took the lead from Mini Tony on the first lap. However, Mini Tony's battling for it. Dragon Pegasus looks like he broke a little bit later. Oh, Mini Tony overshooting it quite a bit and is going to pick up a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. And looks like Liebag also had a little bit of a mishap right there. I don't think he has any damage, luckily. And Joe Beef right on the back of Relativity. And we do also have a couple of changes happening as well. So Fuego Mal gained the position, but looks like he's going to possibly give it back. So Louis is back in back up. It's P9. Look at that, from P11 to P2 at the moment, and has Dragon Pengus in his sight. A few of the drivers struggling a little bit in the rain. So Mini Tony down 3 positions. Very unfortunate for the 10-second penalty. He is going to serve that in the pits when he changes those tires. And we do have Solrak going for the overtake. And a little bit of a lag right there. Just appeared out of nowhere, but okay. A little bit of a teleportation there. And so Louis is trying to get that overtake on Dragon Pengus. Does have Fuego Mal right on the back of him. That is yellow flags behind. I believe that is Dob Walters dropping down positions. Fuego Mal going on the inside. A little bit of bumping right there, but stays ahead. And so Dragon Pengus is trying to extend that gap, gets about 1.5 seconds in front of Fuego Mal, and Louis having a really good exit to that corner. So Louis going back up to P2, and I believe Solrak right behind also got past Mini Tony. But Fuego Mal doing really well to stay right on the back of Louis. Unfortunate that there is no DRS, obviously because of the rain, but we do have a few nice groups here happening. Oh, and looks like Relativity up to P6, getting past Joe Beef. And lead bag, is he going to be looking to make the move on the inside? Looks like it wasn't able to happen, but it's actually a really nice attempt. So I believe Escargo said he is having a little bit of lag, so I'm hoping it's calmed down a little bit, but typical EA. And now looking back at the delta between Louis and Dragon Pengus. So Dragon Pengus was over a second and a half ahead of Fuegomon and Louis. Now less than a second, Louis right on the back of him. And we also do have Mini Tony looking to make an overtake on Solrak. Gets the pass done before the corner. And we do have Louis with a 1:30.1, gets the fastest lap at the moment. And that is yellow flags, and I believe that is Guardians. There is no damage to his car, luckily. It looks like Joe Beef is going to get out of the way of Leaderbag, so Leaderbag is going to go back to P7. And Louis actually making a move on Dragon Pengus. To which Fuegomon has actually dropped back quite a bit, over a second and a half. And we do have a couple position changes happening. It looks like Guardians cutting a bit of the corner there, and Dob Walters getting the position back up to P9 now. So we have a couple of groups here. Dragon Pengus on the back of Louis, Solrak on the back of Mini Tony, and Joe Beef on the back of Leaderbag. But looks like Dragon Pengus is going to look to make the move. Louis not giving it up, and he is going to defend the inside line. Keeps the lead. And Fuegomon over 2 seconds behind them. Solrak on the back of Mini Tony. Looks like no position changes there. Oh, Leaderbag. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but Joe Beef getting the position back. And now Fuegomon joining the penalty party, gets a 3 seconds for multiple warnings there. He does have Mini Tony right behind him, who actually has that 10 seconds. And so it looks like a bit of a gap from multiple drivers. Dragon Pengus still staying within less than a second behind of Louis. And that is yellow flags. That's Escargo. Let me see if he has any damage. Is missing his right end plates. So I know he said he wanted to avoid pitting because apparently he's getting a bit of a glitch where it kicks him out when he pits. So not exactly sure what his strategy is going to be. Fuegomon going to be the first driver to pull the trigger and change those tires. So still 20 laps left. And looks like he's actually going for the hard compounds. I'm wondering if it's drying out for them. So it looks like the track is drying a bit. The leader bag is still on the back of Joe Beef, and Dob Walters getting ahead of Fuego Mall as Fuego Mall exits the pits. So we'll be curious to see how these hard compounds are going to benefit Fuego Mall and if the other drivers are going to copy the same strategy. Because looks like it has actually stopped raining, so there's no more rain on the screen. Leaderbag looking to make a move on Joe Beef, and is he going to do it before the corner? No, looks like he's going to stay right behind. And Joe Beef, ooh, coming off track just by a little bit, and ooh, almost losing the car. Leaderbag probably thinking, I gotta get the heck out of here. Louis with the fastest lap of 128.3. I am curious to see when or if DRS will be enabled. And so Leaderback is going to pit, which actually might not be a bad idea. He can switch to those dry tires and probably undercut Joe Beef. And so Leaderback is actually going to opt for the medium tires, which is interesting. And I believe that was Joe Beef cutting the corner, receiving a 10-second penalty there. So closest battle at the moment is Relativity on the back of Solrak. And ooh, Solrak having a pretty bad exit right there. I think Relativity's gonna try going for the overtake. Or actually looks like he's gonna slot right behind. And looks like up ahead, Louis actually going into the pits. Relativity taking a bit of grass right there. Almost spinning out, and he is going to pit. Picks up a 10-second penalty while doing that. And Joe Beef as well, the 10-second penalty. So it looks like these 10 seconds are really affecting quite a few drivers here. And Mini Tony picking up a 3-second penalty, so that's going to be 13 seconds for him. Solrak is going to come out of the pits behind Guardians, who still has those intermediates. Curious to see when those drivers on the intermediates are going to react, considering majority of the drivers are now on dry compounds. Joe Beef picking up a 3-second penalty. Believe that is 20, no, that's 13. He actually just served his. And now Dragon Peng is picking up a 10-second penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane. My goodness. I'll give an award to whoever didn't get a 10-second penalty for it. So 3 drivers on the intermediates: Guardians, Relativity, and Mini Tony. Oh, and that is yellow flags. I believe that is Dob Walters. No damage, so might have been just a little bit of a slowdown there. Oh, it looks like Fuego Mall is actually going to pit out of the hard compound. It's going to go for the mediums now. 17 laps, including this one remaining, and we do have Louis on the back of Dragon Pengus. And Louis losing the rear there. And while that happens, DRS is going to be enabled. But wow, Louis now over a second behind of Dragon Pengus, losing time. Do have Mini Tony serving the 10-second penalty and is going to be switching out to those hard compounds. And Leaderback actually right on the back of Solrak, and Leaderback with a fantastic save. Really catching the car before anything worse happens. And it looks like Louis actually regained that time that he lost from Dragon Pengus. Now less than a second. He is going to get the DRS now. So is he going to make the move now, or is he going to wait for the next upcoming straight with the DRS? Looks like he's going to stay right behind, and Leaderbag making the overtake on Mini Tony. Both drivers actually having Solrak in their sight. Solrak going off the track, and both of them going to go for the overtake. It looks like Mini Tony might be looking to make another overtake as well, but ooh, going off the track, and he does have Solrak right behind him, and a really good job to avoid that. And up ahead, Louis right on the back of Dragon Pengus. Looks like he isn't able to make any move, but a bit of a switch around between Leaderbag and Mini Tony. Mini Tony making the overtake on Leaderbag. Has used up quite a bit of battery. Mini Tony saving up a pretty decent amount. And losing the rear right there. Does well to keep get the car straight again. And looks like Louis is going to get the overtake on Dragon Pengus with the help of the DRS, and is going to get ahead, leading the pack now. So a nice little battle between Leaderbag, Mini Tony, and Solrak. So Mini Tony did have a little bit of a mistake on the last lap before this over here, but looks like he's going to take it really well. Solrak had a little bit of a twitch right there, and up ahead, Dragon Pengus actually taking the position back from Louis. Looks like with the DRS. Oh, Mini Tony going off track a little bit, and Leaderbag is going to make the overtake on both Solrak and Mini Tony. So a 2-for-1 special right there. Ooh, multiple cars losing the rear right there. So both Leaderbag and Mini Tony losing it a little bit. And so Solrak is going to move up to P5. I think in the bank there was a yellow flag. I don't know if that was Fuego Mall. And Louis now picking up a 3-second penalty. So if I'm not mistaken, Dragon Pengus has 10 seconds. And if Solrak is going to move out of the way for those for Mini Tony and Leaderbag, he might be struggling a little bit with those tires and lagging Lagging a little bit, but Scargo now picking up a 3-second penalty. Louis making the overtake on Dragon Pengus, but might have been too soon as Dragon Pengus does have the DRS. Going to go on the outside into the corner. Actually gets ahead right before the corner, so Louis is just going to slot right behind. And looks like Solrak might be struggling just a bit. He has lost about over almost 6 seconds behind of Leaderbag and Mini Tony. Mini Tony using the battery. Is he going to make the overtake here before turn 1? And overshoots it. And looks like Leaderbag is just going to go, well, bye. So Leaderbag now extending that gap to almost 2 seconds ahead of Mini Tony. Louis on the back of Dragon Pengus, who looks like they both have a back marker right behind them. Or right in front of them, actually. So Louis looking to make the overtake on Dragon Pengus. Dragon Pengus trying to defend that position. Louis is going to get ahead, and I wonder if Dragon Pengus was actually the one to get the DRS. Ooh, very nice side-by-side racing from these two. So Louis is going to stay ahead, and they do have Dob Walters right in front of them. Joe Beef now picking up a 3-second penalty, another 3-second penalty. The Red Bull of Dob Walters cutting the corner there quite a bit. Is going to let the leading drivers get past. And Dragon Pengus is going to get the flap open, trying to make the overtake on Louis. And looks like he is going to get the overtake. And so we'll take a look at the penalty. So Dragon Pengus has 10 seconds, Louis 3 seconds. So right now Louis is looking for a win. We also have Mini Tony with 3 seconds, Solrak with 13, Joe Beef with 16. So there might not be any position changes there. And Fuego Mall Guardians, Escargo, and Dob Walters also with 3 seconds. And as I say that, Guardians picks up another 3 seconds. So that is 6 seconds for Guardians. And Dragon Pengus picking up the fastest lap with a 125.4. So it looks like these two are going to be the main battle for now. Solrank actually dropping quite a lot of time from what he was having a nice battle with Mini Tony and Leaderbag. And Louis going for a really nice overtake. Leaderbag also going for the fastest lap at 125.1. So really nice battle between these two in the front. And now Relativity picking up a 3-second penalty. So the only driver who has not gotten a penalty is Leaderbag. So this is a social race. So Leaderbag, I'll give you an extra 2 points for if you finish the race with no penalties. Louis now taking the fastest lap at 123.6. Dragon Pengus does get the DRS on Louis, but looks like he's not going to be able to make any move yet. And oh, another 10-second penalty for speeding the pit lane for Solrak now, who is choosing to actually get off the hard compounds, the 8-lap-old hards. So Dragon Penguins might be looking to make a move around this next corner. Oh, takes the corner a little bit too much and does lose a bit of time behind of Louis. Does get the DRS though. And Louis trying to break that slipstream. Dragon Penguins taking the fastest lap at 123.0. They do have, I believe that is the McLaren of Solrak leaving the pits. Louis doing really well to defend that position. A couple penalties happening at the same time, and there is contact between the front two runners. Both acting like nothing and going back to racing. They do have the Red Bull of Bob Walters, who probably shouldn't fight the leading drivers, and of course he is going to back out. But he does have a pretty nice view of the two in front, so I'd probably follow their line and learn a little bit from them. I'd probably do the same thing. And the front two still remaining close together. Louis right on the back of Dragon Penguins, less than a second. So Louis is going to get the DRS on this next upcoming straight. Fuego Mall now picking up another 3 seconds. So it is raining. It's raining penalties. That is quite the view. Louis closing in. Is he going to look to make the move? He does get the move done before the corner. And looks like Dragon Penguins took too much of that curve and is going to lose over a second behind of Louis. So again, he does have that 10-second penalty, so it was going to affect him at the end, but... And now pick up another 3-second penalty for cutting that corner there. And looks like Mini Tony actually catching up to the back of Leaderbag. Leaderbag going a little bit too deep into the corner, and Mini Tony taking advantage of that. So it looks like Leaderbag is going to be staying right on the back of Mini Tony, who does have that 6-second penalty. Dragon Penguins actually closing back that gap and now less than a second behind of Louis. Though it looks like Louis might be getting the DRS off of the, I believe that's the McLaren of Solrak, and also picking up the fast lap of 122.8. So Solrak is going to be getting out the way. Nicely done. Also getting out the way for his teammate right there. So honestly, really good awareness for the majority of from the majority of these drivers. Dragon Penguins did lose a bit of time though, and Mini Tony now extending that gap. Looks like Leaderbag is going to get the DRS though. Solrak now picking up a 3-second penalty. And Louis now picking up another, so that is 6 for Louis, and Dragon Penguins right behind him with 13. Yeah, it looks like in the back we do have Bob Walters looking to make a move on Escargo, but looks like he chose to back out of there. I have to say, that's actually a really nice helmet that matches the Red Bull. Don't know if it was intended or what, but Louis now with the fastest lap on 122.6. Ooh, Fuego Mall looks like taking that corner a little bit too much there and lost a little bit of time. So 6 laps remaining, including this one. And looks like Dob Walters did get the overtake done on Escargo. So Escargo is going to get the DRS around this next upcoming DRS zone. So not close enough to make a move, but he is staying right on the back of Dob Walters. And looks like, looking at the gaps, the closest battle is actually between these two, and that is a yellow flag. I believe that is Fuego Mall having a spin at turn 1. A few drivers there losing the rear a bit. And it looks like Escargo is looking to make the move on Dob Walters. Dob Walters trying to defend that position. And so Escargo is going to go on the inside. Ho, loses the rear, and unfortunately, both both drivers having a little bit of a mishap right there. Uh, and unfortunately, Dob Walters picking up a 10-second penalty for a collision. And that is a virtual safety car. I'm not exactly sure what happened to Fuego Mall. And looks like he was into the wall, it seems. Unfortunately, his car disappeared, so yeah, that is unfortunate for Fuego Mall. He was excited for this race. So they are under yellow flags right now, so no overtaking will be happening. And that is actually a really long virtual. There we go. So green flags are out. And looks like both Escargo and Dob Walters are going to be pitting. Escargo looks like he received a bit of wing damage there. And is going to go for the softs, so we'll see if he's actually able to put in a fastest lap with those tires, both him and Dob Walters. And up ahead of Leaderbag, Mini Tony going onto the grass, and Leaderbag catching up. And is he going to look to make the move before the corner? Doesn't have enough battery, is trying to save it back up. And in the back, Escargo picking up a 3-second penalty. Dragon Peng is closing in quite a bit on Louis. I'm not exactly sure if he looks like he didn't get the DRS here. So we're back with the battles between Dragon Pengus and Louis, and our second pair, Leaderbag and Mini Tony. Oh, that is a yellow flags. I believe that is Dob Walters, probably was on the gravel, gets his car right back on track. So Dragon Penguins does get the DRS off of Louis, but looks like not enough to make the overtake done. Leaderbag actually dropping back a little bit from Mini Tony, it seems. So Leaderbag does have those mediums and 16-lap-old mediums. Mini Tony with 13-lap-old hards. And looks like Dragon Penguins is going to be looking to make the move, also picking up the fastest lap at 122.2. But going back between Leaderbag and Mini Tony, yeah, it looks like those mediums might be giving out a little bit earlier than Mini Tony's, obviously, with the tire difference, the strategy difference. But Louis still on the back of Dragon Penguins. So only 2 laps remaining, including this one. And so now Leaderbag has dropped back 2 seconds behind of Mini Tony. So Mini Tony does have those penalties, remember. So Leaderbag is still looking for a net P4. And it looks like Louis is going to get the overtake done on Dragon Penguins. But might have been a little bit too early. Dragon Penguins is going to get the DRS off of Louis. And is going to look to get that position back. And no, it looks like Louis defends well and keeps the position, so Dragon Penguins is just going to slot right behind. We are on the penultimate lap, and looks like our battle will be between P1 and P2. Very unfortunate for the penalties, and Dragon Penguins getting on the curve, and unfortunately is going to lose the DRS from Louis right there. So if I'm not mistaken, they're both on similar tire strategies. Louis with 1 lap older. And looks like Leaderbag is actually dropping back quite a bit as well, so he is almost 5 seconds behind a Mini Tony who has that 6-second penalty. So he is actually dropping back quite a bit, and I am curious to see if hopefully he can stay within those 6 seconds. But Mini Tony actually extending that gap quite a bit. Oh, now Dragon Penguins is now picking up a another 3 seconds. So that is 16 seconds for Dragon Penguins. But they are on the final lap now. And Leaderbag still staying within those 6 seconds of Mini Tony. We are keeping an eye on that delta. And so we do have Louis crossing the line for the win, followed by Dragon Penguins. Leaderbag, looking back at it, is over 6 seconds ahead behind of Mini Tony. So it looks like Mini Tony might be securing that P4. So 19 laps on those mediums for Leaderbag, and I think he might be struggling quite a bit. And we still have a couple of drivers who have yet to cross the line. So Liederberg is going around the final corner. And choosing to pit. So remember, it is a social race, so they are having quite a bit of fun today. I'm pretty sure he thinks he's confident that he will still cross the line in the pits, holding for a P5. Joe Beef having a little bit of an incident on the last sector there, losing both his end plates, so a bit of drama happening at the end. So we're just waiting for Joe Beef to cross the line. He crosses the line. We'll go over the final grid for this social event. And Louis actually getting the driver of the day for, I believe he started last to first. But I think Lee Bag also deserves it. Because no penalties for him. Honestly, big respects. Everybody else got penalties. He kept it within the line. So well done for Lee Bag right there. But our final grid is Louis on the P1 for the win, followed by Dragon Pengus, also picking up a fastest lap, 122.2. Sharing the podium in P3 is Relativity. And in fourth, we have Mini Tony, followed by Leaderbag, Joe Beef, Guardians, Soul Rank, Escargo, Dob Walters, and Fuego Mal, who unfortunately DNF. So look at those penalties. So Leaderbag, amazing job for not picking up anything. But yeah, great race. Was fun. So of course, this is just a social event, so it was just for fun and testing. Uh, Please, if you feel like you are ready to try no assist division, we do have a division 2 specifically catered to drivers wanting to learn, who want more time and space to improve. So you are welcome to join. Our link is in the YouTube channel. And for those who are watching that are already in the server and that want to try the Gnosis, feel free to message me as well. So we'll catch you guys in 2 weeks. For this week, we again, as mentioned in our previous streams, we are on break. So we will be returning in 2 weeks in Portugal. Yes, in Portugal. Had to double check. Yep. So for our last two races, Portugal and Silverstone. So everybody, yep, thank you for watching. Those who are on the track, thank you for participating. And we'll catch you guys next time.